Lucas Bennett sat near the window, rhythmically tapping his pencil against his notebook. It wasn't anxiety, just a habit his mother had been urging him to break, but it helped him think. The classroom at Lincoln Middle School in Little Rock, Arkansas, hummed with chatter as usual before the lesson, but Lucas remained focused on the worksheet in front of him. He preferred to get his work done early. MS. Hannah Foster stood at the front of the class, briefly scanning her notes. She had taught sixth grade for nearly 15 years, earning a reputation as strict yet fair, at least among students she favored. Lucas was never one of them. She never openly showed disdain, never raised her voice, nor insulted him directly. But she rarely called on him, even when his hand was clearly raised. When Lucas got answers right, she swiftly moved past. On the rare occasion he got one wrong, she lingered slightly, almost enjoying the mistake. Lucas noticed, and so did some classmates. "She hardly even looks at you," whispered Jason Mitchell, who sat beside him one afternoon. "It's like you have teacher invisibility." Lucas shrugged. "Guess you do." But today felt different. MS. Foster was glancing at him more often, not with the usual indifference, but anticipation. The lesson began, a standard history discussion about the Civil War. Lucas listened carefully, waiting for the familiar pattern to return, until something unexpected occurred. "Lucas, MS." Foster's voice rang out clearly, breaking through his thoughts. "Why don't you answer this one?" Heads turned in surprise. Lucas straightened up, scanning the board quickly. General Sherman's march to the sea was aimed at disrupting Confederate resources and morale. She murmured. "Not bad. A textbook-perfect response." Several students exchanged puzzled glances. Jason raised his eyebrows as if to ask, "What was that about?" But the lesson continued, and something had irrevocably shifted. MS. Foster wasn't ignoring him now. She was watching closely. Just before the bell rang, she made her next move. "Lucas, stay behind a moment." Several students shot curious looks, but no one spoke. Lucas approached her desk slowly after gathering his things. "I overheard your conversation yesterday," she began calmly, hands folded. "About your grandfather." Lucas hesitated. "What about him?" "You mentioned he was a musician." Her tone held an odd weight. "Yeah," Lucas answered carefully. "He was a jazz pianist." MS. Foster's lips curled slightly, not quite a smile. "Interesting. You must have learned a thing or two." He sensed the setup immediately. "A little," he replied cautiously. "Good to know." The bell interrupted, but as Lucas turned away, her voice stopped him. "Tomorrow, let's hear it." "Hear what?" "You'll play the piano in the corner for the class," she said, nodding toward the dusty upright at the back of the room. "Why? Why not?" she countered coolly. "You must have inherited some of that talent." Lucas felt the challenge. He recognized the undertone, expectation of embarrassment, confirmation of bias. He wouldn't back down. That night, Lucas hardly slept, replaying the conversation repeatedly. By morning, whispers had spread through the school. Entering class felt heavier, eyes trailing him as he sat down. "You gonna play today?" asked Aaron Carter, smirking. Lucas ignored him. Jason leaned closer, whispering, "Didn't know you played." "There's a lot people don't know," Lucas murmured. MS. Foster entered, setting down her books confidently, clearly aware of the day's tension. Finally, halfway through class, she addressed him directly, a calculated pause preceding her words. "Lucas, let's see what you've got." The room stilled instantly. Lucas felt every gaze as he walked toward the piano, hearing faint laughs and whispers behind him. The piano was worn, slightly out of tune, neglected for years. He ran his fingers over the aged keys, memories of his grandfather's rich, warm piano flooding back. He sat, poised, and heard a snicker behind him. It sharpened his resolve. This wasn't just about proving MS. Foster wrong. It was about silencing everyone who doubted him. Lucas's hands moved fluidly into a blues progression his grandfather often played, gentle at first, then growing confident. Silence deepened. Every student watched in astonishment. Even MS. Foster's composed expression faltered. Lucas felt no nerves, just raw, driving emotion. His fingers danced across the keys, weaving complex, powerful melodies. Students leaned forward, no longer expecting failure, but mesmerized by unexpected brilliance. Lucas soared into intricate jazz runs, effortlessly blending technical mastery with deep feeling. This wasn't merely music, it was conversation, triumph, defiance. When the final powerful chord resonated through the room, silence briefly hung thickly. Then came a single clap, then another, and soon thunderous applause engulfed the room. Jason whistled loudly. Aaron, stunned, muttered didn't think he had it in him. Lucas remained calm, his gaze steady, looking directly at MS. Foster. Her face was a mask, rigid yet unsettled. She finally broke the silence. Well, that was unexpected. The applause subsided. Where did you learn to play like that? She asked stiffly. My grandfather, Lucas replied, unwavering. She hesitated briefly before turning dismissively. Let's continue with our lesson. That's it. Aaron challenged openly. He just played like a pro, and you're acting like it never happened? MS. Foster stiffened. This isn't a talent show. Lucas spoke calmly, firmly. You didn't think I could play. That's why you asked me. The class murmured. MS. Foster tensed. You're out of line. I don't think I am, Lucas replied steadily, meeting her gaze. Sit down, she ordered sharply. For once, Lucas hesitated deliberately before returning to his seat, feeling empowered rather than chastised. When class ended, MS. Foster stopped him briefly. This is still my classroom, she asserted. I know. Lucas responded evenly, leaving quietly. Outside, Jason caught up, amazed. You changed everything. Lucas smiled slightly. Yeah, I did. Later, as he walked home, Lucas felt lighter, freer. At dinner, he recounted everything to his mother, whose pride shone brightly. Sometimes you need to make people uncomfortable to teach them, she reassured him. The following day at school, Lucas was approached by classmates previously indifferent. You were incredible, praised Emily Brooks. Jason grinned, holding out, huh? Lucas caught MS. Foster's eye briefly in the cafeteria. This time, she looked away first. Lucas continued eating, satisfied. Not all lessons come from textbooks. Sometimes, the strongest statements come through actions louder than any words could ever be.